Greetings. We welcome you here on a Monday for another episode of Two Balls and a Mic 253 with some new months, new days ahead for San Diego FC. San Diego FC is set to announce a brand new signing. Eric El Guti Gutierrez said to be the new refuerzo. We're going to get into those rumors. We're going to get into the confirmations potentially, but also in the rumorverse here in San Diego, Jonas Eideval, rumored to be the new head coach for San Diego Wave, former WSL Arsenal head coach. That to be the person in charge. What does that mean? What is that going to look like?
People are not happy.
People are not happy. People are happy. People who watch the WSL are a little in tune with what's to happen here. I know.
With a lot of things going on. We're going to have our El Zarapes and with two individuals from the community as well coming on. We do have San Diego Inter, Coach Matty Palatalk coming on, and Brent Zuniga, Capitan de Capitanes, joining us. Tony, are we good? Should I keep going? I'll keep going. All right, go ahead. I'll keep going. But yeah, we are going to be having that on as well. And we're going to be having goals, gaps, and great. Everyone's saying, what was that? New DJ? Yeah, DJ Tony's figuring that out right now. So, I mean, you already know how the live podcasts go. Thank you for everyone that is tuning in. New viewer, listener, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys.
We're good to go. I think we should be good. Hopefully, potentially. You know what? We just invest couple hundred dollars into this podcast for the top of the line equipment.
What was the new Two Balls and a Mic rap intro?
Oh, I mean, people are in the know. That's actually
what you guys drinking. Hey, what you drinking there?
I'm drinking some recovery.
I'm drinking some recovery
after a tumultuous Thanksgiving.
¿Pisteaste mucho?
No.
Are you a big drinker on the holidays or no?
I'm not a big drinker.
You're not a big drinker at all. Yeah.
Trying to. Be better already.
People like that. It's ASMR. I told you this before.
People do like that.
People like that.
The great. You don't have to do it. Esteban Toscano actually did that on the live stream, and he was very much.
Yeah, 100%. It bothers you so much, but
it's fine.
It's part of the show. People want to hear what it goes down in here.
Season greetings to Jorge, everybody who's joining in. Esteban is already
happy December.
In the know. Happy December. Hello.
Are you I already know you're not, but for anyone that's new to you, getting to know you, this new version of you, are you not? Ya que estás bien fit. Are you a Christmas starting December person now? Is your birthday month?
I'm not a holiday person. Period.
You're a Grinch.
I am the Grinch, and I actually
you're the Grinch on steroids.
Actually, on here, I will break some news before we get into some actual San Diego football news. Nobody knows this, but in the office, well, Chiva and I we were in the same office for 8 hours a day, and I was planning on not telling you and just kind of going with it, but you decided to have a meeting off-site today and not be in the office.
I had to run. I had to run. I'm feeling a little better now.
So because everybody knows that I hate December and Christmas and everything.
Did they decorate already?
No, which I called them out on. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? December 1st. And I heard no Mariah Carey. So now I'm rubbing it in. And I actually secretly found just these cool little chocolates that are Christmas themed. And I went in early into the office and I put some on everybody's desk, left, came back when people were there.
Gosh.
Did put some on my desk too. And I'm like, and it was like, somebody left chocolates. And I'm just like, I wonder who that was. And I'm going to keep this bit going because next week I'm going to put candy canes, but not say anything.
And I love that because our coworkers don't listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
so they won't know
no, it's fine. It's
this
absolutely wonderful. And then the third week, I'll do something.
Oh, you're gonna do it once a week?
I'm gonna do once a week,
every Monday.
And I'm struggling whether or not I should tell people at the end of it or just keep that to myself. Well, now you and I guess you people.
Let us know in the chat if Tony should just keep it to himself or let everyone know
This
at the
is
end.
so dumb.
Surprise! This was me. Dude, what was that sound earlier?
No, but that was what you heard actually was the roadcaster deciding to
Time for a new one. Chetos.
I'm down for that. You know what? If we sell an extra couple shirts, by the way, we still have a couple of shirts left. Thank you for everybody who pre-ordered.
If you do want to buy a shirt, I believe we have some size large and XLs available. They're not available on the website anymore as the pre-order was done. You can definitely DM us if you're still interested in buying one of those shirts. Again, I think we have one small, a few L's, and a couple more XLs.
Yeah, so thank you for everybody who's actually helped us out, contributed with that. That's literally paying the bills. Chiva.
Oh, just an update on that as well. Shirts will be getting shipped out at the end of this week. So expect them to be at your doorstep, in your mailbox, wherever you put the address by the end of next week, hopefully.
Yeah. So we will have some available. If you want some, go ahead and check everything out at sandiego.futbol /cantina. You can go ahead and put your order there.
Like I just said, Tony, the store is right now, it's closed. And the pre-orders were put on pause. And you can DM us if you want a shirt.
That's why I hate Christmas. Like I forget. You know what? This is what I hate for trying. You know, I put this here. I'm like, oh yeah, you fixed it like that, and I'm like, no, it has to be crooked because then you see it's Santa themed. It's Christmas themed. All right, this is what happens when I try.
All right, yeah.
Like,
Grinch of Christmas, and Tony. All right, so we kind of dropped some news on social media. With SDFC.
Okay.
Eddie Gutierrez being the next player.
So we're just saying we're getting into some San Diego FC. We need to get. I need to get better.
Yeah, we need to get better.
Some San Diego FC talk. I spend my hard-earned linea time coming up with these things. These little AI theme videos. But in any case, Eric Gutierrez has been rumored and linked with San Diego FC for some time, actually, in our verses. That name has been floated around since Chucky Lozano actually made the announcement, where it was announced that he was going to be making, being the first DP here for the new 30th MLS franchise, San Diego FC. And so it almost seemed natural for his best friend, his pal, el amigo de amigos, to then come over as well, or potentially come over. Chiva, you have some knowledge on Eric El Guti Gutierrez, not only because you're a Mexico supporter, but just because you are closely in the know with Chivas. He's currently with Chivas.
Yeah.
Take me through this.
So, I mean, anyone interested in knowing about Eddie Gutierrez, you can always look him up and look at all his stats lines, right? I mean, he's a center mid. Started in Pachuca in 2013, made his debut, and from there became best friends with Chucky Lozano. He became the captain for Pachuca at just 21 years old when they won the Clausura 2016. And then they also won the Coca Champions. Then from there, Chucky Lozano ended up going to PSV, making a name for himself and all that. And then Eddie Gutierrez quickly followed to PSV, where they played together again. Then Chucky departed to Napoli, and that's just kind of like how the story goes, right? Eddie Gutierrez is a center midfielder that you can play at the 10, you can play at the 6, you can play anywhere in the midfield, and he's going to get the job done. His long balls are amazing. His touch is great. His vision is really good. Some of the downsides about El Guti is that he does get injured quite a bit. He sometimes doesn't keep that consistency after coming back from injury, right? A lot of things about Guti is that you made it to PSV. I always like to think when a player makes it to Europe but then comes back before their 30s to Mexico or MLS, it's kind of because they didn't really quite make it, right? Don't get me wrong. He had a good couple years. He spent 5 years in PSV. PSV is no joke, right? That's what SDFC is trying to be, right? They said it. We want to be the PSV of the MLS.
Ajax, like this academy team.
Ajax, yeah. So, I mean, Eddie Gutierrez is great at the through balls. He's great. He'll surprise you with some outshot shots as well. Like, he has a nasty left foot. I think his vocalization is probably one of his best assets. Like, he's going to be the one that's going to talk to everyone in the field. He's going to be the one talking to the referee a lot. He's very vocal on the field. like you see here, like laser of a left foot. He's also best friends with Chucky Lozano, which again, if you're Chucky Lozano, say, hey, SDFC, get me my best friend, please.
Why not?
I want my best friend to play with me. Now, the thing with SDFC, and this is what worries me, is that you're putting all your marbles with Chucky Lozano and Guti Gutierrez
Mm-hmm.
once this becomes official. These two players are both injury prone, Tony. Like
Yeah.
you're close to being like ambulance FC. Because what's gonna happen, you put all your marbles in on these two players expecting great results, but then they both get injured. Knock on wood, right?
Mhm.
Don't want to jinx anything for the fans, but they both get injured at the same time, and then you're out of 2 DP spots.
Yeah, and actually, Guti, from what my understanding is, not
Not a DP
a
spot.
DP.
Okay, cool.
Not a DP.
Okay,
spot.
well, I mean, then again, you're left out with that dynamic duo on the injury, right? I mean, Guti Gutierrez came to Mexico just 2 seasons ago. He was 28th. Again, coming back to Mexico, I don't know how you feel about it, Tony, but it kind of feels like a step back. Like, okay, I'm not cutting it out in Europe anymore. Let me come back to Mexico or the MLS, like Carlos Vela did it, and then he ended up killing it in the MLS, right, with LAFC. Chicharito came back to MLS after his 30s, so that's more understandable. Like, you see all these stars like coming to the MLS after the 30s. For Guti to go back to Mexico, it was a bit of a shock to a lot of people because he was still playing pretty good, but he wasn't the same player anymore. He wasn't getting called up to Mexico anymore. He wasn't doing a lot of the things that he was doing on the field, which is why he wasn't getting those call-ups. At the end of the day, he's a very well-rounded midfielder. I think he would do great in the MLS.
Mhm.
And again, having that best friend, you've played with your best friends in your same soccer team. Like it's something different.
Yeah.
Like it's that connection that you both have. Like there's videos of like, balling with your best friend and you do all these sick passes everywhere.
Mhm.
So it could be something special if it works out.
Some good reaction here on the comments. Just I really haven't seen him play at all. Great this year. Guti has been a hit or miss during this season.
Yeah.
He needs to get more active on the field. And okay, so pluses and minuses, right? Like this is the signing that Tyler Heaps was alluding to in order to get that 6, sort of that 8 type of role, where you have that two-way midfielder, right?
Yeah.
You need that engine. It seems like Yepes Sverskov is going to be playing that 6 role, where he's more of that almost 5th center back, 5th defender, in a way, with what the Danish player from FC Nordsjælland is going to bring. Put Guti alongside him, you can then have the creativity or the ability to have an additional creative player in the midfield, right? Because you still have that work rate from Guti being able to move up and down and still have an offensive. You have to have somebody marking him. You have to have somebody considering that left foot of his at all times, but at the same time, he's going to be able to come back and defend well. If he needs that extra boost of speed, he'll be faster than Sverskov in that, right? So that's a positive. Where in the grand spectrum of things is this going to work in the MLS? That's left to be seen, right? If you're paying attention to what's happening over in the MLS the tournament right now, with the MLS Cup coming in, LA versus New York, that is going to be the championship. You're really starting to see exactly what the formula is for a championship team. I've paid more attention to the MLS now than I ever have in my life, to be completely honest. And it's very true, where it seems like you do need that balance between MLS veterans along with that outside power, the youngsters in there as well.
Galaxy is interesting, right? I mean, not to dive in and like not talk about SDFC, but Galaxy is interesting because their star is Ricky Puig, who came from Barcelona, right, at just like 22, 23 years old. He's obviously a talent.
Yeah, just
like he kills it over here, but he was just average over there, which is just crazy, right? Like he just tore his ACL. So now we're gonna see how much of an impact a star player like that really does make.
They have Marco Royce. At the end of the day, they can just be like, "Hey, wait, as lo que estaba haciendo." You were doing it in Borussia not too long ago. You were in a Champions League final last season.
The only thing that worries me about Guti coming to SDFC, he's going to be a player, like a go-to player. He was getting outshined at Chivas by other midfielders like Elneny Beltran, by Pocho Guzman, who's another player that's friends with them, right? With back in their Pachuca days. I wouldn't be surprised if SDFC also tries to go for Pocho. Like, I mean, he's a troublemaker in Liga MX. He likes to party and he's had issues with all those things, but I wouldn't be surprised if SDFC also tries to go for him. If this is kind of like a reunion, that Pachuca reunion at SDFC, but that's Guti has been getting outshined in that midfielder by other Chivas players, and I mean it kind of worries me because like if you really want a player that's going to make a difference, you're going to get someone that's is going to put himself out there. It's not going to get outshined by other players. I mean, who goes to show? I mean, it's very interesting. I think the MLS expansion draft is next week too, right?
Already,
On the December 11th.
Very quiet.
Very quiet indeed. I mean, it's just one expansion team, so it's only 5 players up for grabs. So again, that's going to determine a lot for SDFC. But yeah, Guti, not a bad shout. It's just as hoping that he does stay healthy. And that's going to be the main thing. Same thing with Chucky Lozano. Like you're getting glass players and putting a lot of money into them. And hopefully it pays out. Like, and we know how badly Chucky Lozano tends to get injured, and same thing with Guti. I mean, I think he's had 2 or 3 injuries in 2 seasons with Chivas already, so it's not the best.
Yeah.
And hopefully it works out.
In a perfect world, it does work out. In a perfect world, if you're Mikey Vadas and you're Tyler Heaps and you're putting this team together,
you're thinking it's gonna work.
You're hoping that everybody's gonna be healthy throughout, and the experiment works.
But you have to plan, right? Like you have to plan. Okay.
But at the end of the day, he's not going to make a competitive team for the MLS. Are you really going to have this team be competing for playoffs? And the only person that publicly, outside of maybe Tyler Heaps in that MLS article, that's been a little bit of like, all right, let's bring it back, guys. Like the chances of winning a championship out the gate are infinite to 1, right? Making playoffs is maybe for SDFC in the first year, maybe couple years, is a resounding success. And so it's really understanding where the success meter is going to be for San Diego. If people think that San Diego is going to come out the gate and be this competitive juggernaut, it's more than likely not. And I really think that Mikey Vadas understands that. Tyler Heaps understands that. They're going to go ahead and try to build something in the long term, but the short-term success has to suffer because of that. And while you're going to get Chucky, while you're getting all these players, you have people who are learning who, Marcus Invarsen in, as we all are. They're dropping, little hints here of like, hey, get to know this player. Clearly, Invarsen going to be that false 9 type of two-way forward, where he has the ability to go ahead and move into the midfield and drop down if he needs to, and be powerful enough to bring the ball back up, creative enough to distribute, but also has a nose for goal. He's able to play on the wing, so he has that dynamic aspect to him. But overall, you're going to have to surround him with stuff. And something that's very interesting is that there's names that are being floated around. There is going to be another DP for sure coming in very soon. But
what do you know, Tony?
But again, like these names that are being floated are very interesting, and it's cool to see the name San Diego in these circles, especially with things that are happening over in Europe.
Time is getting closer.
No, we're in December.
Closer.
Yeah, season's greetings. Legit, the bit doesn't work anymore. Season's greetings almost doesn't work.
2 months before their preseason starts. It's less than a month before we see the jersey for SDFC, at least the home one. It's less than a month before we see more players getting signed. I know in the chat that we're asking when do they find out which players are protected. To my knowledge, is kind of like the conversation in the chat is like 24 hours before the expansion draft. Also, if players have a no trade clause in their contracts, the MLS clubs have to protect them. So they would be one of the 12 players that teams can protect. If you think about it, there's a lot of potential talent in the league where each team will protect 12 players.
Yeah.
There's going to be one outlier that's like, damn, we can't protect this player because we need to make a decision between this player and this player. Like, Mikey Vadas and Tyler Heaps definitely have probably been doing a lot of homework, which is why things are probably pretty quiet, because you won't know who's unprotected until the day of, really.
And right now,
so that's going to be very fun to watch.
Right now, like teams already know who's going to be cut, who's already going to be a free agent. So those lists are out, right? It's pretty clear what direction that'll go. Like, but there's still going to be some clock watching for that to make sure that key players just don't out of nowhere fall into up to grabs, and don't slip through the cracks because sometimes that may happen. Don't get me started on how Chivas can't keep a coach.
They just signed a new coach.
What do you think of Hector Herrera? He's from Tijuana.
He's
Hector,
from Rosarito.
He's from Rosarito. But that was actually a name that was floated around. Potential to join SDFC. He is a free agent right now. Played last with Houston. His last appearance was a red card. So
I mean, he spat on the ref. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if
I don't think
would have won Ache. I think he's bad. I can see him going to Pachuca and retiring. Like, why not? Like, go back
and just have a great
hello from France,
Sakanga or Sakanya. Hey, little kitty, I like that.
Yeah, interesting stuff for SDFC, man. Like, it's a lot of stuff that's gonna be happening very soon. I think they just did another carne asada this past weekend, right? Tony, if I'm being honest, I can't wait for it to be more soccer stuff. Than I love the community, love it. Don't get me wrong, but I can't wait till it's more soccer player talk conversations than community events now.
Yeah, no, and again, congratulations to the $18 efforts that were made to make those tickets available. So check it out for the union, the San Diego Independent Supporters Union. The only way to get those, but yeah, I just want to talk about people who are here. From my understanding, like. And we got word that Tyler Heaps was at the USD game yesterday, and there's no lack of interest on his end right now to come on with us. We're just kind of playing the game. We're just playing the game as we go. But we are working on getting Mikey Varas and hopefully maybe here, but just in a long form conversation to just kind of look. Let's talk about it, because I'm pretty sure that they're also tired of just doing the PR talk, the non-soccer related events. Like this team is very new. There's still a lot to do. Like today I saw on a Lakeside Facebook group, somebody posted a flyer. It said SDFC hiring event at Sequan Resort. So come on and check it out. So like, hey, if you need a job, Sequan is hiring, and it's for the Right to Dream Academy, right? So like that's the overall arching aspect here. But
how far is that place from where you stay now?
13 minutes. Singing Springs is 13 minutes. So we will have coverage from training if we are fortunate enough to be allowed to go to training and kind of, do what we've been doing throughout these last 4 years, is being out there, talking to the players, getting to talk to the coaches, the training staff. And this is what we do best here at San Diego Football. Is once the season starts rolling, let's get that content in. Let's get what people want, because at the end of the day, like this is it's sad when I see soccer people not be engaged in soccer ways.
Yeah.
And I just see that brain rot just happen, and it's like no, like here, like that's what I like about Casey Stoney. Like Casey Stoney could have fielded 10 questions about, hey, what did you see out there? Or, hey, what is it like playing against boys out? Like these are the type of questions that they would get, legitimately get.
Bad.
And then I'm like, hey, no, like, hey, this play, what did you in this triangulation, blah 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 blah. Like, take me through that.
No. You once asked, like, hey, is it gonna be a difference between the dimensions of the field from Torero Stadium to Snapdragon?
Damn right.
No, as long as there's lines at a goal, like we're good.
That's what I want to hear. I mean, I hope people were happy to hear that, right? Like, legit. Okay, hey, look, you're playing in a stadium that's a little bit different. USD has the sidelines that are very close. Maybe long throw-ins are out of the equation. Like, how are you going to play fast and lose? Like, is that?
She kept it real every single time.
Nope.
Which is what I respected. I guess this is a great transition into San Diego Wave, Tony. Is there anything else as DFC that you want to bring up? We're going to talk a little bit more about it next week as well, since the expansion draft is going to be next week, and there's also going to be the jersey kit reveal and just weekend events happening for SDFC.
Yeah, no, and that kit's going to be, from my understanding, whelming is the word.
Whelming.
That would be appropriate to be used.
It's an Adidas factory kit, right? with a little bit of flair. Like that's I mean, you guys, if you've been following us since the loyal days, you know I don't care what the uniforms look like. As long as the team is performing well and playing and it's enjoyable to watch. But it's Adidas. The first logo kits that came out were very whelming, very whack. I think what saved them was the stone brewing in the front. This is going to be DirecTV. It's not going to look pretty. I'm picturing a very factory MLS kit with a little bit of flair.
And the flair, if you really look hard enough on San Diego FC socials, you pretty much saw the flair. Like if you're in the know and follow, like,
gotcha, it's gonna look like those chrome ball kits.
You saw the flair, like it's in their preview of the jersey.
Got it.
But outside of that, there is going to be more kids. The away kit's going to be announced in January. Later on in the year, the third kit.
I mean, if
SDFC.
you're a fan, you can't expect much, right? You can't expect much.
Look, you can
it's
expect
an
what
MLS
you expect, but
factory team, like it is what it is. It's not gonna be, whoa, this is different. Like, no, different would be them saying, screw Adidas, let's run with Nike or something.
Well, no,
I know you can't do that. I know you can't do
that.
I know.
But like the brave thing here would be like, hey,
y'all stay hating on SDFC. Why?
Who says we're hating on SDFC? Give me a reason. Give me a reason to.
I honestly, it's not hating on
because
SDFC. It's hating on MLS as a whole because Adidas just drops like the same factory kits. Like, look at the kits in MLS, and they all look very similar.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too specific. I think each team tries their best to stand out and be a little more unique. Again, as a new expansion team, it's hard to do that. I think you're gonna play it safe, which is what SDFC is going to do. But again, this is just a uniform. Let's see what it looks like on the field. Let's see what it looks like with the players scoring goals and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm hating on the team. I'm just saying, like, I hate the whole idea of it being the same brand. Like, everything has to be Adidas.
It's very sterile. It's very like
I personally don't like that.
Yeah.
Which is why I respect the loyal, because they went the Charlie way.
Well, I mean, they were able to. Like, not that I don't respect it. It's just like, okay, they did think out of the box, but even then, like, okay, like it's the last rung. Kind of negative talking to SDFC. We tend to highlight the positives as they come because there are a lot of positives that we've talked about. A lot of positives that are coming.
Let's talk some positives.
At the
what
end,
are some positives?
What are some positives is that the community as a whole, San Diego, the soccer community has definitely gained equity. And in the same way, San Diego FC has done a lot to highlight what's already been here, and they've done a good job in that. Another thing that they've done a good job at is existing. Like, the fact that they're coming in with this new project, this new business, it's not easy to start in a city. This project, just knowing people within the actual organization, this project that they're doing right now is incredibly complex and difficult to pull off on every single front. Whether it's the people they're hiring, whether it's through a human resources side of things, whether it's through a founding of a soccer academy, whether it's scouting, whether it's people who are going to be hired to be the kit men, whether it's going to be people who have to work and be flown in from other experienced MLS teams. The culture that we're hearing from within is actually a very positive one, where a lot of people that have come from other MLS teams working in this club sound very positive in terms of like, hey, I come to work every day and I'm able to input who I am and what I do. That's what we're hearing. Outside of that, there's not a lot that's being heard or that can be discussed in a public setting. There is a lot of challenges that do appear for SDFC. And I think anybody who can say, hey, they've passed every test with flying colors would be remiss to point the obvious, self-inflicted punches to the face that it's done. San Diego FC hasn't done itself favors in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of outside talk. There's going to be always a lot. SDFC, for some reason, and I kind of has a mini online rivalry with Cincinnati fans. Like, great, fantastic. Like, sure, like let's go. Like, I appreciate that. People are coming up to bat for San Diego, and again, the people of San Diego are the ones that are pulling this team up. And I think that there is this sense of we should be, as San Diegans, thankful, kissing at the feet, and really saying gracias for existing and bringing the MLS here. No. It should be the other way. Hey, I appreciate that, but you should be thanking us for having built, not us. You mean no. The community of San Diego, the soccer community that's existing here in San Diego. You should be thanking us for having built this infrastructure that you can come in and then feel like you can have and have a product that thrives upon what's already built here.
Yeah, like
these community events, great. The players that they're signing, hey, you sold out the shell. I'm pretty sure if people didn't go for Lunay in the thousands, they went for Chucky Lozano. There were a couple hundred Lunay fans, I'll tell you that much for sure, that had no interest in Chucky Lozano or soccer.
They're doing some things right, and again, we're gonna highlight those things. If it does sound a little negative from time to time, I mean, it's also based because there's not many players to talk about. There's not actual soccer happening yet. Once the game starts, once the ball starts rolling at Snapdragon, which I mean, Snapdragon is a whole different discussion.
You know what's funny, actually?
Thank you, by the way, for letting us know if we do sound a little pessimistic about it, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's not what we try to do. We always try to keep it real with all of our listeners, and we're going to praise when the praise is there, and we're also going to criticize when there needs to be some constructive criticism.
Hi, Tony here. So
hey, Tony.
I'm not a person that sees a glass half full or half empty. I'm a pragmatic person. Just there's water in the cup. What are you gonna do with it?
You're a special person.
Like that's what you have. Move forward with it. One. But no, I think it's a fair point. Speaking of Snapdragon Stadium and the as the venue of San Diego FC being shared with San Diego Wave, it's actually gonna share the company that has the grass over in Snapdragon Stadium is actually finishing up, if not putting the final touches right now as we speak, into the turf that is going to be over at Singing Springs. So the same grass company or the groundskeeping company that is taking care of Snapdragon Stadium is the same one that's taking care of putting everything in the new training facility, and they are said to be finished. And from my understanding, for what I've heard, they've taken this as a giant lesson this last year in moving forward, and that's as much as you'd hope can happen for the greater good of just everybody who plays on that surface, whether it's San Diego teams or not. Anybody who's coming in and bringing tourist revenue because there's a Gold Cup happening or whatever event happening, like that field needs to be taken care of because there has a lot of tenants and it has a lot of events. It's one of the most beat up surfaces around in stadium wise, but yeah, I mean, that's a little tidbit there. And I'm glad that discussion is happening. And if there are things that are positive that you believe are positive for San Diego FC,
drop them in the chat. Let us know.
Like, let us know DMs as well, because at the same time, like we want to make sure that everything is taken into consideration, because when it does come time to be critical, when it does come time, we'll have the receipts. And if
you think we're being negative right now?
Yeah, let's wait for the 4-0 thumping by the eventual champions LA Galaxy on the first. No, I mean, that, and then that discussion happens, right? That's the conversation we have. Hey man, like, you know,
there's what, also a chance where SDFC comes in and slaps LA Galaxy 3-0.
There's 4 different languages being spoken on the field, and they just met 2 weeks ago. Like these are things that are going to be fun to discuss and talk about. But that's going to deserve its own criticism as it does praise. But we're all just kind of sitting on our hands right now. But we're not optimistic. We're not pessimistic. We're just istic. What's your opinion on Guti playing for SDFC? We actually just gave that opinion here as well. It's gonna great marketing move. Great move.
Bringing the besties together.
Fantastic move. But ultimately, like, how is that going to translate on the stat sheet? And that's what I'm curious to asking Tyler about is, okay, how much of this is your stats, because he's a stat guy, did you highlight this player? Or how much of it is the intangibles?
I mean, there's an Ajax highlight reel on YouTube for his 5 years at PSV. It's a 6-minute video of all his goals and assists for 5 years. That alone tells you about stats too, right? I'm telling you, Guti's not a stat player. He's a player. He's going to give you the path to the assist. Like, he's that type of player. And I mean, again, if healthy and informed, like, Guti is a dangerous player. Like, he can shoot, he can cross, he can give those through balls, he can defend as well. He's a box midfielder. And I mean, if healthy and can stay healthy, he's a good pickup for SDFC.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think. Like, what do you guys think? Like, in my discussions with, like, hey, this might happen. Like, there's some very low risk players, because this Guti news was coming in through Mexican outlets as well. Hence why I was in Spanish when we first said it. And people that I know that just play Sunday League, que le van a la América, gente que está viendo, rascándose huevos, nomás viendo, sabes que Toluca, and cheering like, qué golazo. You're up 3-0 in aggregate and you score. Like, relax. Like, it's not that serious.
3-0's nothing, right, Cholos fans? Sorry.
But no, like that news of like, hey, what did you think of a potential, like, se prendieron, like, they got hyped, like, oh, El Guti, oh, bro, heck yeah, like, that's what I like to hear, like, okay, and this guy's an America fan, like, okay, that's where the barometer is for this. Like, this is such a weird project that nobody can really say how much that it's gonna be affected. People still want Keylor Navas.
No, that's just Esteban. Not people. That's just Esteban.
Any Kevin De Bruyne news? One of the people that is talking with San Diego FC. How many more marketing moves do we need, though? Not saying it's a bad play, though. No, 100%. Like, look, you have to sell tickets.
Look, I'm letting you know. I've seen this guy in my favorite soccer team for the last 2 seasons. He's not a bad midfielder. He just tends to not be as consistent, and he's injury prone. Those are the things. Like, when he's healthy, great player. He's a starter. He's going to be a leader on that team. And I think that's what SDFC wants. And again, he is Chucky Lozano's best friend. Like, Brandon, Esteban, you know, when you're playing with your best friend on the same team, it's something special. Like, you can see it. You can see that chemistry going off from them. Like, again, it wouldn't surprise me. Pocho Guzman from Chivas also makes his way to SDFC and just makes a trio with them again. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all, Tony. But again,
will you be buying the SDFC kit?
I don't buy kits from the San Diego teams, especially since I'm doing media coverage. The only kit I ever bought was San Diego Loyal, and it was for a giveaway.
And I think that's what we'll keep it, because we are giving away a jersey for San Diego FC. If you are subscribed to the YouTube channel of San Diego Futbol, we are doing a giveaway of the first ever San Diego FC jersey that we will purchase and buy for that reason. So to answer your question, yeah, we'll buy one.
Getting called
to
out
give away for you guys.
Getting called out here.
Chiva, you can't make fun of Cholos when Chivas are awful.
You know what? Both of our teams didn't make the semifinals, my friend.
Ouch. Guti was playing at PSV. At the end, he didn't play much. When he got a chance, he did contribute with Chivas changing so many coaches. Overall, a 7 out of 10.
I agree.
Yeah,
I rate him a 7 so far.
It's not a bad move. It's not a bad move. It's not an outstanding move. It's a move. And right now, SDFC just needs to make moves.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Like that's it. It is special. It's going to be a special jersey. She only buys Dodger jerseys.
I also don't. The one Dodger jersey I had was a gift. So
okay.
Y la quemé. Ya la quemé.
Oh, see. Maybe I can win and not planning on purchasing one. Hey.
Dude, you win all of our giveaways.
There are people who have historically won a lot of
all of our giveaways. You two, I hope one of you two wins.
Perfect. We'll shelve the SDFC conversation right now because we will be having a guest come on here for a community segment that we do in Sarape de San Diego in a couple of minutes, a couple of instances here as we get settled in. But again, I do like the conversation that people are having. Engage with it. Hablen con nosotros. We're going to be doing it in Spanish as well. So we're going to be doing coverage of San Diego FC en español para que le caigan también. Porque es otro rollo. Authentic or replica. I'm going to go. This is how you know. This is how you know SDFC have made it when they'll have a jersey getting sold, a replica of a replica at the border or the swap meets. Like when the moment I see that, is when I'm like, all right, SDFC, you've done well. But yeah, people are excited. People are happy with it. It does bring the community up. A rising tide rises all boats. Or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we have here. Keep the conversation going and engage with it. There will be official news dropping from SDFC here in the coming days as well. So anything else with that, Chiva?
I think that about wraps it up, right, for our San Diego FC segment. And I think, are you ready to move on to our Sarape segment?
All right, so let's go ahead and roll the intro, and then we'll go into the Sarape. You got it? I got it. Sarape.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's on game.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and welcome our guest for the setup at San Diego. We talked to the community, and we reached out because we are in tune. We want to be in tune as much as we can with what's happening in every single level of soccer here. And for the description, promoting play for women 30 to 80 plus years old. And I've seen some of these highlights. They can take you and I on, Chief. Like
Yeah, 100%.
like we would bow down. Connecting players with trainings and leagues, tournaments, and travel. From San Diego Soccer Women is the Instagram. We're going to go ahead and welcome Brandy Mitchell. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for coming on. It's obviously a big community here in San Diego, and it's kind of interesting whenever niches kind of come up, and not even a niche. I'm like, whoa, like this is a big chunk of people who are very much involved with this for San Diego Soccer Women. Could you tell me a little bit about the organization, how it started with you, Brandy?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I started playing soccer. I was in the generation of women who started at age 5, and I was growing up in Southern California. Really easy for me to get access to soccer as a girl. My mom actually played as an adult, so she had 4 daughters sitting on the sidelines, and she played with the kids sitting there. So I was exposed to the idea of women playing soccer casually. My dad coached, my dad played. So again, being that part of the generation, that was something that we could just imagine doing, and it was no big deal. And then fast forward to myself finishing college, I went to a university that didn't have any sports programs, so I didn't play at all. I finished in high school and then came back at age 27. And it was just a friend saying, hey, I remember you played soccer. You mentioned it before. Where do we play? And, do you know that there's soccer out here? So that's when I started my website of San Diego Soccer Women. Basically, just if it wasn't obvious to me, it's not obvious to other women where soccer is available. So I started the website just as a resource. And then now that was, 20 years ago. So now at age 48, I am playing, several times per week, promoting basically all these opportunities for women to play around the world. There's a huge community in the U.S. and we follow this line of, starting after, Title IX, which allowed girls to have equal access in schools, which also became part of sports. And so now here we are with all of this soccer available for older women, but internationally it's been a different path. So I'm trying to open up opportunities for women to create community globally.
And what's great about this is that there's such a passion for the game that, again, you always kind of have that highlight on a specific side, and that's generally the men's side throughout, right? But it's something that gets overlooked in a lot of unfortunate ways. But let me tell you, like I don't see people have as much fun and enjoy the game as much as I do just older people.
Yeah.
And that's just with all apology, because again, they can take us on any day and probably, play that team style play. But how has this grown with recent developments here in the city of San Diego, right? Like soccer has always been here in the community. Yeah. What can you say? Has there been a switch that has risen in popularity? Have you seen more numbers come out? How's that been like?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. So it really is clear that the San Diego community and generally all of Southern California, it's been part of the women, women's lives because of both grassroots recreational opportunities. And then of course, we had San Diego Spirit, we've had San Diego Sea Lions, we have college soccer here. So even if you take out all of men's soccer, there's still been a lot of women's soccer available, whether it's to watch or to play over the past 45 years. So that history has already been established. I did not create any of that. It's really just been a matter of bringing visibility. And then what we've seen, to answer your question is over the past 10 years, and especially, past 5 years, we're seeing so much interest for women who've never played, which seems shocking to me, right? But there are women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, and clearly older than that, who at this point are looking at women on TV, women on streaming videos, right? Women in social media, and saying, I want to at least play the game once in my life, whether that means, joining for a couple of practices or, going out and joining a league. So by starting some women's soccer practice programs, and I found some amazing partners to take those on, women's soccer practice just is like, you're coming back into soccer after years away, or you've never played before and you want to join, or you just want some skills development. All of these concepts that generally boys and men have had access to all these years, and now bringing it to the forefront for women. So I've seen, anytime there's a Women's World Cup, anytime we see with the Olympics, then there's this opportunity for women to say, hey, I want to learn, I want to get out there. And so I see a quick pickup in my website, in my social media, women just saying, how do I get access? So it's changed. I think it goes with the flow, but it really is amazing how established women's soccer recreationally has been for all of these years.
No, and that's honestly amazing. I mean, looking at your website, there's so many leagues. Definitely check out her website. There's so many leagues available all over San Diego for women to play. And I mean, I do want to ask, like with San Diego Wave, when they started coming on, became a team right 3 years ago, what was it like for the growth of the game in women's soccer overall? I mean, you had Alex Morgan here playing in San Diego. You had stars now like Naomi Girma, who's arguably one of the best players in the world.
Right.
Like, have you seen a change in that with those stars being here in San Diego?
So what you're saying is you think that I'm not a superstar. You think that Naomi Girma.
That's why I said quiet.
I know. It's only him. It's not you, right?
Right. Of course not.
You're name dropping, and I'm like, wait a minute. What about the women out on my pitches, right? You can give us some of those names. Haven't you watched our games? I think professional soccer is just it's a different place entirely, right? You're not seeing crossover necessarily of they're fans. Women within our women's soccer community are fans of professional soccer and diehard fans, season tickets. I try to plan events where everyone gets tickets, and women are like, we already have our season tickets. So, there's such a strong representation of women who play in the community of women who watch. But I think what's even more important is, I've been talking to San Diego Wave, talking to any of these professional and even the semi-pro, and how can we increase what you see in the media of older women? I pointed out to some of their staff that, if you go to a game, you see a lot of people with white hair and gray hair, right? This is not a population coming to their games of just, people in their 20s and 30s out for the night. This isn't the same, they're not just bringing kids to come watch. Older adults in general are going to games. They're paying the money, they're buying the merch, they're showing up at events. So I think there's an important kind of continuation between the fact that we have women out there playing at older ages. We have women showing up for the professional sports by buying tickets, being part of their events. And that should flow hopefully in both directions then, that we continue improving the opportunities for women. And then there's some recognition from pro clubs, the same thing with the soccer's SDFC, right? We want to make sure that these women are being represented.
Absolutely. And if people wanted to help or get involved, what's the best way that they can go ahead and do that?
Though the main way to get in touch with me is using any of my social media, anything from TikTok to Snapchat to, Instagram and Facebook, and just reach out and let me know what you need. So if you're looking for a league or a team or a training, a tournament, we have just this huge, you can see on my website, this huge list of tournaments that are available to women. I focus on ages 30 through our 70 plus division. So reaching out to me if you need to be connected to soccer. So that would be first and foremost. From there, if you are interested in coaching women, helping out with organizing women's events. So for example, I'm going to be playing or leading this group of women. We'll be playing the Omega Ball tournament. So if you haven't seen Omega Ball yet, it's this round field. Yeah, there we go. 3 teams, 5v5, all at the same time. And it's just the most amazing concept because I love chaos. So like when I run women's soccer practices, then I do whatever drills I can. They're the most chaotic drills ever. And it is so much fun. And so when I saw this, I reached out to Omega Ball. They're based here in San Diego, but they don't have events really more than once a year here. And I just said, can I bring a bunch of women to come play on the field? And it worked out perfectly. They offered us a spot. So on December 13th, we're going to be there at 4:30 doing an exhibition game. And that'll be, leading up to their tournament, which is Friday and Saturday for elite players. So these types of opportunities. So if you have something, I've worked with futsal organizations, street soccer, tech ball, like foot volley, right? Foot golf, anything that's just in addition to soccer, then reach out and let's make some kind of event together. And if you have something to offer the women's recreational soccer community, then I'm happy to be a contact to just put you in front of from all that population.
I love that. I actually have an idea. We work with someone that has a pretty nifty San Diego Wave labeled brand new indoor soccer pitch here in the South Bay, who are looking for people to run a league actually. So
nice.
So we'll stay in touch there. But
yes.
No, it's a great.
I want to have like an argument about co-ed soccer eventually. So maybe we don't have time tonight, but I want to find out why we still have co-ed that requires women when women should just be allowed. And if it's a good space for them, it should just be that there's men and women playing together. Because I see a lot of complaints from men saying that they don't have women showing up, and then they're frustrated at the women. So I feel like it's starting to move in reverse, and there's so much opportunity for women to play in women's leagues. So let's bookmark that and have a discussion about it.
I love that.
I want to hear from your viewers.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because again, that's an interesting concept that is very interesting. Because again, like coming from playing in Mexico, that's not what happened. And again, there's been a growth in the game, but when I came over here, co-ed was very foreign to me. I was like, okay, well, like this is the game has to go. But I like that. But let's go ahead and once again just highlight the website where people can find more information and reach out to you. Here it's where to go? San Diego Soccer Women. That is your website. You can find all the information right there, and same name on Instagram as well, and all the social media. I do love when people will get involved in the community like this, Brandy, and I guess just keep going, because again, it's good work that you're doing out there. 100%.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for highlighting me and bringing me on, and we'll have more conversations soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Brandy.
Have a good one.
You.
Perfect. And again,
that's so sick.
It's so cool because I was it's one of those things where it's like where I didn't see how big this movement actually already was, and I find these nuggets of information just lying on social media, and I'm just like, oh, it's been running for a while. Like this has been here it's been established. Like, all right, like
how many friends do you have like you grew up with in middle school, high school that played soccer that then just stopped, right? Because they didn't know where they could go play. Like it happens so much. So, I mean, definitely check that out.
I get flattered every time I get asked to play for San Diego Internacional Sunday League team. So
you do. You should start playing. Hey, ya estás calilla, compadre.
No, I'm officially retired. But yeah, good conversation there. Thank you, Brandy.
Mentioning San Diego Internacional.
Speaking of, again, this is still the segment. I'm going to play it again because I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of my stupid little AI introduction. This is still the community segment where we talk with people from the community that put things together, woven into one. The San Diego fabric is a strong one in the soccerverse. So we're going to continue with el Zarape de San Diego. 2.0 version. Now we bring on the great and powerful Matt Palpalatok and Brent Zuniga.
What up, boys?
Representatives from San Diego Internacional, the team that is going to be representing with the name San Diego locally in the Lamar Hunt Open Cup tournament coming up. They have a chance to make it to the final phase of the 32 in a way. So, gentlemen, welcome back on. How are you doing? Coach Matt and Captain Brent Zuniga. ¿Cómo están?
Doing good, man. How's it going?
It's good, man. It's good.
Good.
You're an Iron Man. Again, like for those who are not privy to the information that we've welcomed Captain Zuniga here before. You still getting up at 2 a.m., bro, to work? Is that still a thing?
Yes, indeed. It is still a thing.
How? Like, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Like, you can be doing anything, and I thank you for doing it at 2 a.m. But
Superman, girl dad, captain. Wow. Everything's on the resume, man. Let's not forget, Coach. Matty Paltalk. What's up, man? How's it going?
What are you doing at 2 a.m., Coach Matt?
Hey guys, hey, thanks for having me back. No, I just came back from the week break I gave ourselves and the guys, and then my parents and I moved into a new place. Been doing that all last week.
Nice.
Is that where training's being held? Just help coach move out.
Yeah, Brent's been skipping his 3 a.m. workouts to come help move the furniture instead.
3 a.m. workouts. I mean, and look, it's been working because the team is in a prime position here. Coming up this Sunday at 6 p.m. at Mission Bay High School, where San Diego Internacional will face off Laguna United FC. And from my understanding, this is the Open Cup qualifying round into the last
qualifying round,
the,
right?
The last qualifying round into the eventual round of 32. That's 32 teams, not just regionally, not just in the state, not just in the West Coast. Just that's the national tournament. Correct, guys?
That's
Yes,
correct.
sir.
And this is where MLS teams, USL Championship teams also start partaking in the tournament, if not mistaken, correct?
That's what I was told.
Yeah,
So hopefully.
So
From
I mean,
my understanding, it's it kind of they trickle in towards the later rounds, so they have like a few first round buys in the actual beginning of the tournament. So you'll see a lot of like probably another couple of UPSL teams, and then some probably some NISA teams after that, then in the USL, and then MLS after that.
I mean, Maddie, you're coaching this team now. I mean, you're one step into qualifying to the Open Cup round of 32. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, what's the message you have for your players? Obviously, it wasn't the result you guys won it last weekend, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the focus goes here. This is bigger than everything right now. I mean, it's the Open Cup. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I think after last week, it was a mixed bag. To be honest, there was a sense of relief that we were done with the UPSL, because if we had won, the UPSL final would have been on Saturday and our Open Cup would have been on Sunday.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it would have been, I think, the third time we've done a double header weekend. And I mean, I don't know how many more 180 minutes Brent's body can take. But,
Man.
but I mean, for me, I think having this chance to make it all the way into the actual Open Cup means a lot for me personally, from being a part of the club for 5 years now. Not to downplay like what the club's done in the past in the UPSL, but this is something we've never done before. So I think for us to hopefully win on Sunday and make it in, I think, in my opinion, would overshadow the UPSL championship we won 2 seasons ago, or any of the finals, or any of the other big games we've been a part of.
I mean, I gotta agree with you. I mean, qualifying for this tournament is a huge accomplishment, right? And I mean, Tony, I don't know how you feel, but we kind of been a part of witnessing the Open Cup with San Diego Loyal before, and I mean, seeing San Diego Internacional now having a chance to qualify into that tournament, it's something special for us too, guys.
No, it's incredible seeing, just knowing the people, and again, like regular supermen like Brent over here, who this is still a passion of yours, Brent, and it's apparent that you love this as much as anything else, and you've been in a similar position before. So what's your message of experience to some of the other guys that are on the young side of things, and you're the leader, the vocal leader, and you show by example to always keep your head in the game, whether you scored a goal, that you're the first one to say, hey, let's keep it going, keep it moving, consistent, let's go blue, let's go whatever uniform color you're wearing. Like, you're the first guy that you hear bringing that. So what is this experience that you're bringing to the Inter side?
Yeah, I think collectively it's huge for us. It's not lost on me, especially towards the latter stages of my career, that honestly, you just don't know how many of these opportunities you're going to get. And I think that's the biggest message to the younger guys. We were in the huddle before we played Chula Vista a couple weeks ago, and one of our guys that really doesn't say much, Garrett, he chimed in. He's like, guys, this is a huge deal. There's not a lot of opportunities to play in games of this magnitude. And you have a lot of the younger guys that they're going to go on to do bigger things in their career. They're probably going to go on to play at bigger clubs. You have a Jack Sandmeyer who's playing in the NCAA Sweet 16 yesterday, like no big deal. But for some of us older guys, this is kind of where the rubber meets the road. This is kind of the end of what we have to give to the game. So I think the biggest message is let's go out there and not take the opportunity for granted. You don't know how many more big games you're going to get in your career. As for us, we won the UPSL championship spring 2023. So that's coming on 2 years now. And we've tried to get back to that point, but we haven't been able to. So that kind of just speaks to the challenges that we face to get back to the mountaintop, because you just don't know how many times you're going to get back there.
And Coach Matt, as you're seeing one of the goals that you guys scored in this effort against Chula Vista FC, what are the challenges against playing a team that you may have, a lot of scouting on versus someone that you don't play as much? Laguna, I do believe that is a team that you're a little familiar with just because of the location. What's that scouting like for this tournament? Because again, it's a one and done, and it's not like a league tournament where you lose a game, you get a tie, it's 1 point, you move on. No, it's a knockout stage. There's going to be a winner at the end of the night come Sunday.
Yeah. In terms of the scouting, I actually know a decent amount. My brother and some of his college friends who also trained with us in the past used to play with Laguna United in the spring season just as a side training. And they've told me it's virtually the same team and all that. Like, I'm not going to say anything based on their talent level. They've obviously made it this far in the tournament. They recently just lost in the UPSL SoCal North final. So it's not going to be an easy game regardless. For me, honestly, like, I'm just worried about myself and like my guys and getting my guys out there, getting them up for it. I think the game itself should speak for itself, but at the same time, like Brent said, like, we have a lot of young guys that may or may not understand what this means, like, as a whole, and especially to this club, right? Like, where this club came from, like, this for us, like, this is our MLS Cup final right now.
That's very true. And again, like you mentioned, people like Jack Sandmeyer, right? Like currently doing his own thing. You've had a lot of players come and go through that have experience, and people who have had Liga MX experience here. Mark Benito Cruz with a great cross there that eventually led to Inter moving on to the next phase. And this moment here, right? Like, tell me about it, Brent and Coach Matt. Like, what was that like right there?
Personally, that was huge. If you can see my reaction to the goal, it comes literally based off of what happened to us in the tournament this past summer, where we're playing Capo in the SoCal Regional Cup, and we actually go ahead 4-3 almost in the last minute of the game, just to have them score off of a free kick on the last second of the game. So my mindset here is, okay, we scored the goal. We have to defend this with our lives right now, because you guys were there. Like, they were literally scoring after every time we scored.
Yeah.
So it was one of those games where, like, we kind of scored, then we would lose focus a little bit. So this was huge. Mark was cramping. I didn't even realize we were down to 10 men for like a good 4 or 5 minutes. I had no idea Mark was like literally on the sidelines right before this happened. I guess I was just so locked in, but it was one of those things where it's like, we got the goal. This is it. Now we have to defend this with our lives.
Maddie, you could have taken him out. You didn't. It paid off, dude. Like, ballsy call, but I mean, at the time, did Mark also tell you, it's like, hey, no, like, I'll be good? Like, what was that like? I mean, you were down a player for a couple minutes there. I mean, in the dying seconds too. Like, you made the call to keep him in. It paid out, man.
I mean, every now and then you become a Pep Guardiola and you make the right call. No, I'm kidding.
I need you to keep your mental health and not scratch yourself, right? Yeah. No self-harm here, sir.
Yes, sir. I still have my hair. That's all I'm counting.
For now.
No, but like, when that happened, when he went down, he actually went down in front of the Chula Vista sideline, and he stayed down. I was like, fuck, like, what do I got to do? And I was actually out of subs. So for me, it was preparing, like, I was setting up the guys to be a little more defensive. Like, to be honest, I was setting up to go into overtime so then I could make a sub. I was like, you could see right there, Zach and Neto were warming up. So I could sub one of them in for Mark and then rejig and just win in overtime. But as the game was about to be called, Mark comes up behind me. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go back in. I was like, if you think you can, the game's over in 30 seconds. Go for it. The ref waves him on literally right when Sandro and Ernie win the ball at midfield. And then that happens right there. Like, you can see Mark right there getting ready to get in.
The ref's timing was just,
I mean,
it was definitely interesting. And I mean, again, you guys stole the ball at the right moment. And
right there, like, Mark's in, he touches the ball immediately. I thought his cramp was going to get to him. I thought the ball went out, but I kept watching the replay. None of it crossed the line.
It did not go out.
Yeah. And you can see my reaction. I come in a screen right here. Like, as a coach, I've never celebrated a goal more, like, in my coaching career in like the last 2 years before. We've scored some pretty big goals in the past for Inter and, like, even for the youth club I'm with. But nothing, I think my reaction there says it all. Like, it shows the meaning of it. But off screen, I was just like Brent. I was like, Ernie, get back. I don't care how much time's left. Everybody get back. We're defending with 11. We're not letting Capo happen again. So.
I mean, yeah, like, I mean, that experience, right, from having it happen to you once before, you're like, it's not going to happen again. I think after this, the ref blew the whistle right after too.
Yeah.
The big game this Sunday at 6 p.m. in Mission Bay High School. What's the message you have for the soccer community? It's a big soccer community. We've asked supporter groups to go out. Give them a message. What do you have to tell them, like, just to come out to Mission Bay High School to support?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that just come and support, you know, your local girlfriend's favorite soccer team. I mean, this is huge. This is very huge for the club. I've been with the club now for 2.5 years, and there's no games that get much bigger than this. You know, you win this and you're into the U.S. Open Cup. So if you got the time and you can make it happen, come on down to Mission Bay Sunday at 6 p.m. and help us get over the finish line.
Coach Matt?
Yeah, I think for me, it's the same thing. Just come out, support local amateur semi-pro soccer. I think we would be the first team outside of the Loyal or any of the recognized professional clubs in San Diego to have made it through the qualifying rounds in a while since Chula Vista did it. And hopefully we can put on a good show and even make a miracle run like Chula Vista did almost a decade ago.
Yep.
It's very possible. So get out there to Mission Bay High School. If you're interested in getting out there and want to come in bulk and in a supporter group forum, let me know. I'll connect you. We'll get you guys hooked up, get you at Mission Bay High School, make you get some drums in to make some noise for San Diego. San Diego's in the name.
I hear Jack Sandmeyer is available now.
I heard the same thing.
What?
Hey, great run by USD. The sweet and
it really
great
was.
run by USD. I mean, we're gonna talk about that penalty foul in our goal scabs and grades segment later on. But I mean, gentlemen, best of luck on Sunday. We'll see you out there. And again, to anyone in the supporters group, go out there to Mission Bay High School at 6 p.m. this Sunday. Any last message you guys have for everyone?
Hey, go to SDFC, go scout. I don't know. Why not?
Right?
Yeah, SDFC, we got some guys that fit the age profile, player profile.
Yep. We got some ballers, man. We got some ballers.
Know.
Hey, Brent Suniga can ball up
He
with
still
Patty
go.
McNair.
Patty
Yeah.
who?
Patty who?
Patty who?
Brent Suniga all the way.
Transfer fee, all you guys got to do is just pay our rent for the next year at Mission Bay.
Exactly.
That's the transfer fee.
There you go.
Good.
That's a really good deal. Depending who you ask.
I don't think Patty McNair wakes up at 2 a.m.
No, doesn't have hustle, loyalty, or respect. John Cena doesn't have that dog in him like Brett. Gentlemen, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you out there on Sunday. Support San Diego Inter at 6 p.m. Mission Bay High School. Be about it. Be about local soccer. Gentlemen, thank you guys for joining. And this has
Thank
been
you guys. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
community segment set up with this ending. I won't play it again.
Es que alguien puso.
The fact that you're flying like this, it just shows me that you don't know. You
I
never watched.
never watched
Because he
Dragon Ball,
flies on a
sí.
nube, on a flying cloud, a flying
Sí,
nimbus,
güey.
una nube voladora. O sea, he calls it nube
Anything I've seen
voladora,
Dragon Ball Z is what
And
you
then
showed me on YouTube, dude. The
which
last 5
is
years.
sad. Like that hurts me. You
Es del diablo,
grew up
güey.
in
Es del
Tijuana.
diablo.
All right.
I grew up in Tijuana in a Catholic household in a Catholic private school.
Yeah, how did that work out?
I mean, hombre padre.
Do you do the songs around like? I mean, it's holiday time, right? Like there's
La
posadas.
Guadalupe.
All right, relax. There's my family's here. It's a different denomination. Okay.
Oh, madre.
If there's a door, they'll knock. No.
Are you going to any posadas this season?
No. God.
No, I'm going
Oh,
to some.
God,
One?
it's the holidays are such a drag. Like it's such a.
Pato.
Ah,
You're such a
It's-
Grinch, dude.
if you like
Ah.
it, go for it. If you like
Just don't
the holidays,
don't
enjoy
put
the
it
holidays.
down, boys.
I'm not putting it down.
Be
It's-
be
it's-
merry. It's okay.
No,
it's okay to hate it.
it's
Just
fine.
don't spread. I mean, this is why you sound so pessimistic talking about SDFC. Just because it's not just about SDFC. It's about everything.
Yeah, I'm just the very regular person. Like I'm just the middle.
You're just a very
in
pessimistic
the
person.
middle of things.
You just hate everything.
I mean, if you want me to like something, I watch Moana too.
Did you like it? I just barely watched the first one to get ready to watch.
Did
the
you
second one.
really?
Yeah.
After I told you.
No, when you told me, I had just watched the first one. Oh, I think
Oh.
that same night actually I watched it.
It's not as good as the first one.
The first one was really good. I liked
was-
it.
yeah, it's
I
really
liked it.
good.
It's really good.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's pretty good at what he does. He wasn't involved with the second one, so the songs weren't as good. But go watch Moana 2, little indie film that needs.
Heard they're making a live action one too, right?
Some help. Moana 1. Yes.
Of live action.
Yeah.
That should be cool with
Um,
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I mean, oh, you mean the Dwayne Johnson Rock?
Oh.
It's the other way. The and Rock is the first in line.
Gotcha.
last name.
Oh, Moana 2 was not it.
Look,
All right.
it was
All
for
right.
for Brandon. I like that. I like the very honest takes on Moana we're having here. It was a decent sequel in terms of new Disney, because old Disney sequels were it's like the premium, like Lion King 2. Did you know there was a Lion King 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Kovu, with the son
Yeah.
of Scar. Like, all
Yeah.
right, cool. There was the 1.5 was better for the Lion King. Aladdin 2.
I did not know Aladdin 2.
There you go.
You know which sequel was very good?
Airbud. What?
Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2 is actually
Was
pretty
very
good.
good.
But see, there's not that much sing-songy. Like it's not
It's
rooted
it's a
in,
movie. Yeah,
in
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like this is trying to be classic Disney with the songs and the
Uh-huh.
this. What I can't stand is live actions. I cannot stand live actions.
There's some that are good.
I refuse to.
Little Mermaid was good.
I refuse.
You didn't watch Little Mermaid.
I
did you?
no, I
watch it?
refuse to watch live
Ah.
actions. Like it's just the Mufasa one. Like I'm very well okay knowing, and that the story of Mufasa starts with him just
Mulan
being
was not good.
this,
Live
and then
action
it,
Mulan
it
was
just
not good.
ends there. Like I don't need any backstory on a story that was literally plagiarized from
Oh, look at that.
Shakespeare's.
Yes, Chiva. My girl worked on the set in Hawaii. Sick.
Oh, all right, hell yeah, all right. So that's a
cool.
good connection. So
He gets to say he knew it was not it before it.
So
Premiered.
he knows whether or not Moana live action is
It's
it.
gonna be good. Yeah.
You know what, Brandon, you're going to decide whether or not I contribute my money to that. Even keeled Tony, 100% got to keep it there. So Moana, if you want to have an hour and 50 minutes or whatever of your time filled,
There's 3 movies I want to go watch
uh-huh.
in the movies right now.
Yeah.
Moana 2 is one of them.
Okay.
Wicked is another one.
Okay.
And then Gladiator 2, which I heard.
Such originality.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what
Are you gonna go watch either one of the Gladiator 2 or Wicked?
I'm probably going to watch Gladiator 2.
Yeah, I just finished watching Gladiator 1 this morning. And it
And
is so great.
It,
It's so good. It does not need a sequel.
you know what I kind of like and it's weird because, and we're gonna get San Diego Wave right now, because they also have a giant rumor of their own that we broke over the weekend. But I appreciate TV movies that have commercials a little more because it's kind of like I have Spotify. I can listen to literally any song ever, really. But there's something about hearing the same song that you skip 20 times on Spotify and it popping up on the radio. You're like, oh, and you turn it up, and then you're like, but wait, I skip it every time. It's like it's kind of like that. And I watch Gladiator like that, where I'm just like, I could watch it whenever I want, but it comes up on TV, and I'm just like,
oh, you watch it, yeah. I get it now.
Shit.
I get where you're
Like,
going with this.
I like the fights coming up. Like, okay, and then
but then
commercial,
it's not,
like, and it is edited, and I'm fine, and it's abridged, and there's a lot of things taken out, and I'm very okay.
Same
but
thing
like,
with Troy. Like when it's on TV, I gotta watch it, but I'm like, there's the scenes are not there. Like all the action movies.
What's another movie that you have to watch
on TV?
Yeah.
Oh,
you just kind of you flip, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. Is there anything?
Die Hard?
Is it a Christmas movie?
No.
Okay.
Anyways, other movies, like, I mean, it's because they're so long on TV. They're like 3+ hours because of all the commercial breaks.
Did you guys watch the second Joker movie and sang along?
I have not watched the second Joker movie because I heard it was not very good either.
I also have not watched it for that same reason. Same reason I haven't watched The Penguin. I will watch The Penguin. It's one of those things when people tell me to watch something.
You're like,
no,
I'm not gonna watch it because you're
I'm not
telling
gonna,
me. That's
no,
just
like,
how
stop,
you are.
Stop. Like, I'm gonna watch it now. Just the moment you shut up about it, I will go watch it and then come back and be like, all right,
why does anyone
episode
like
1,
you?
2, and 3 were this and this and this, and I really thought that the ending was put together. And at the end of the day, for a TV show based on the Batman and whatever that is, like, again, this podcast can be anything. I sat down and spoke Lucha Libre with DJ Beto, who DJs all the STFC Chrome Ball Tour events and is a partner of them. And this is what this can be. And we can continue on Moana too, but there are other kind of pressing, almost breaking news. Other piece of quote
before you jump in, does Craig even know that's our intro to Wave Topics?
No, he doesn't. No, he does not. Because again, like, does Craig watch?
Do we need to pay him?
Is Craig into an hour and 18
for
minutes?
this
And if
intro?
he is, God bless you, Craig, and I miss you. And I hope to be with you.
He hopes to hear from you all soon.
Not even him, just the soccer is like, all right. Like, I keep getting asked, hey Tony, how's the soccer? Are you ready for the Soccers?
Looking, sabe?
I would love to tell you if I have. I bought a suit for nothing. If in case it doesn't.
No,
like,
you used it once.
Yeah, and how long am I going to stay this figure? I don't know. Like, Thanksgiving was rough.
Yeah, dude, you bought the suit the wrong way. Like, you had to go to Nordstrom Rack.
To what?
Nordstrom Rack.
Okay.
Hey, güey, está bien chingona esa tienda, güey.
That is a very difficult question. Word. I will give you that.
Nordstrom
Okay.
Rack.
Yeah.
They do in-store afterpay.
That's dangerous.
It is super dangerous. Anyways, San Diego Wave, Tony. You kind of been knowing this was.
Well, I mean,
it hasn't been
it's
announced
still
yet.
It's still up there.
Yeah.
It's still a rumor, and again, you'll know it's official when the gets used. It hasn't been used, even though, well, sources confirmed that former WSL Arsenal boss Jonas Eidenval to be announced as new head coach of San Diego Wave. The club is expected to make the announcement during the first week of December. We are currently in the first week of December, so that news should be coming in this week. So
there was a lot of very negative.
Talk about negative.
Yeah, there were a lot of very negative comments about this signing of a head coach from our followers, just fans in general. I'm not too familiar with Jonas Eidenval. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't. From my understanding, is he's had altercations with Emma Hayes.
Yeah, he's considered a quote bully. By Emma Hayes, current reigning head coach for the U.S. Women's National Team, who's having great success.
Good friend of ours, Gyasi,
Yes.
from Chicano Futsal. He's a big Arsenal supporter and just of the women's soccer team as well. So his reaction kind of told me a lot. Is like, damn, I got to deal with this guy now again. It's just, to my understanding, he's lost a lot of players. Arsenal in the WSL was a very strong team, and because of Jonas, he lost a lot of their star talents and just kind of lost the locker room. He ended up quitting before he got the chance to get fired. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is all just coming from fans' experience. I also saw other people talking about the game. It's a very fast pace. Like, it would work in the NWSL. Like, he could potentially do good on the field. Look, man, if it works out on the field, great. In general, I think with everything that Wave have gone through this year off the field with the lawsuits and everything like that, I don't know if this is the best signing. Like, you could have gone in Twyla Kilgore and just everyone would have been really happy and back on board with Wave. But again, I don't
This
know
is the
much
choice.
about this guy, but I mean, it could be good.
This is the choice. This is going to be also the first decision from the new side of ownership for San Diego Wave, and the first move really into what they're going to be postulating for the next year. The preseason is going to be starting here in January, so quick turnaround in a lot of ways. But from what I understand is, again, the play style of Jonas and what he brings, again, like you mentioned, is very attacking. That's what San Diego Wave needed. There's a lot of comparison of like, wow, what a downgrade from Stoney. Wow, what a downgrade from like, I can't believe that they. First of all, it's sure if it is, it is, but don't ignore the fact that it's not a direct downgrade nor upgrade from Casey Stoney. It's a downgrade / upgrade from, and I'll put them together, Landon Donovan and Paul Buckle. Like, this is going to be an upgrade from what Wave last saw on a managerial standpoint. In general, the coaching tree that he comes from is very successful. And from what I understand is that the European adaptation of the game here in the NWSL, it gives you more pieces to work with, where in Europe, the game is still being fleshed out. The NWSL is literally the best league in the world. There are great players around and great teams. But again, how much are you going to take the Ballon d'Or seriously when Naomi Girma is not even considered in it? When last year Morgan was pretty much right there to win it. Like, it's not to be taken as serious. The FIF Pro came out as well. Naomi Girma is part of that, but the dynamics is interesting, right? The Emma Hayes portion of this. There is also rumors of Naomi Girma being linked to Europe, and there has been since last year.
We've been saying it for the longest.
Yeah, 100%.
Naomi Girma needs to get out of Wave, for her sake.
The Albie Del Kemper transfer out that was happening last year because Marseille and the French teams were looking at Abidal Kemper at Lyon as well. It's now down to Naomi Girma, but I mean, you have a chance to be in one of the best leagues in the world. You're here locally. There's a lot of positives in staying in the NWSL in San Diego Wave specifically. But overall, is this going to be beneficial for her in the long run? Because right now she's already the best player in the world while having and being in one of the worst teams in the league and still maintaining that level. So yeah, you can go into Europe and grow and develop that way. But if you're already one of the top defenders in the world and you're going to be in a place where there's going to be work for a defender moving in forward, then I think I weigh my options there. Very family oriented, Naomi, and has everything that she needs here locally in San Diego and even nationally in the US wise. And then those travel times over from Europe to coming back to the US, from Europe to the US, are going to be brutal in a lot of different ways. But I do think that there is some weight to that transfer because they're attaching it to the possibility of Lindsay Horan making her way back in that deal with Leon and Naomi Girma. Lindsay Horan, obviously in cahoots with one Tyler Heaps for STFC. So then that's natural transition of like, well, it's just a matter of time before Lindsay Horan joins. first Olympic gold medalist this last year to be at Snapdragon Stadium. Actually,
if you were Naomi Girma's agent, would you advise her to leave Wave and go to Leon?
I don't think so.
Really?
I would honestly say stay in San Diego.
Why?
I don't think it's as black and white as what we typically see and understand as the European game being in general. I think this is a different circumstance where the NWSL is a destination to go to. And yeah, you want to say, oh, go over to Europe. The level over there, the training is better. It's really all not that better. You have a WSL league where you have Chelsea, who's absolutely dominating. You have Arsenal, who, yeah, is competitive. And they were in the 1-2-3 conversation, along with now Man City is coming up in that league as well. But other than that, the level is the parity just isn't there on the WSL side of things, where here in the US, competition is pretty tight at the end of the day. Like you saw with Wave last year. Where were they in the middle of the season? And then they came up and ended up winning the Supporters Shield and being the best team in the league. And like that just doesn't seem to happen as much in Europe. But either way, if I'm Naomi Girma, if I'm the agent, I'd want to stay here in San Diego and just print money. Like if at the end of the day, I'm the agent, I'm looking for the best interest of myself and my client and myself. You're gonna print money here in San Diego. Maybe work on the bobbleheads a little bit.
I think Naomi Girma will most likely end up staying. I think she loves San Diego a lot. If she were to go, I don't think she would go to another NWSL team. I think it is either going to Europe or staying in Wave. I mean, Wave needs to do a lot of fixing. Like they need to restructure. They need to really go kind of like in a mode. It's restructuring. What do we call in NFL? A rebuild.
Yeah, the rebuild.
Because I mean, at the end of the day,
because they tank pretty nifty.
Yeah,
but there's no positive in tanking.
I mean,
Anyways,
there was a point in this season where you ran out of players and you hired a staff as a 1 day or 1 week contract to be part of your bench to complete the roster. So, I mean, I think we need to go into a rebuild and just get a lot of younger players and anything just kind of built for the future as well. And that future should be behind Naomi Girma. Like you need to pay her whatever you need to pay her to keep her here in San Diego because she's your most valuable player by far. Like if there's one player that you need to keep in that team is Naomi Girma over Jaden Shaw, over Barcenas, over Kaylin Sheridan, over anyone is Naomi Girma.
Another interesting kind of notch that's happening here is that, you have Cascarino, who is going to be coming back and have a whole season now under her belt. She's gonna had a taste of what it's like. And she's been training over in Europe as well. She was seen training in Juventus. That's where her sister plays. The other Cascarino. She was also seen practicing and training over in PSG. And so PSG, one of her top pals is actually Maria Antoinette Catoto. And that's somebody who can be out there as well in the universe. But
look at that.
We have him back. The freshly shaven.
Wow, no more mustache.
No, is it there?
No, I got rid of it. I don't know. It felt weird. I was like, people started noticing it, and that weirded me out. So I got rid of it.
And you know what? That was a great move.
Thanks to Tony, people started noticing.
No, 100%. But
Abe, what I did first, I got rid of the beard, and then my grandpa and one of my deals, both of them on separate occasions, were like, "What the heck is on your face?" So I was like, "I can get rid of that."
Yeah,
it's okay.
Sorry.
I missed most of it. I was at a velorio. Rest in peace to my tío, Perico. But anyways, he was a Chivas fan, so shout out to Chivas today. But I will say, I don't think Naomi Girma's leaving this season, but next season, the Wave are going to sell her. That's when her market value is going to be at its highest. She'll want, at that point, probably to explore Europe. I don't think the Wave will benefit enough from keeping her for long term. Just on a financial standpoint, it makes sense to sell those type of players.
Yeah, and again, you still have a young core that you're kind of developing in a lot of different ways, and it's still a blank slate in a lot of just dynamics that the Wave has, because you have young players, you have players who are coming back. Mel B's, getting featured a little bit more. You have Kimi Ascanio, who was also featured a little bit more. How much?
But who knows if they will with Jonas?
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
how much of that is something that Adebayo already has in mind, right? Like how that's going to be put into play. He has to meet the players in general. So from right now, just kind of give a timeline, right? Like it was 2 weeks ago where they let all those current staff know and assistants for San Diego Wave know that their services are no longer needed. And so there was a clearing of the coaching staff. Right now, it's a blank slate. And because the new manager who's coming in will have their own team built in and they'll build it out themselves. So it's going to be a complete overhaul in the soccer front from here. And from what I understand as well is that, there isn't a lot of controversial, sexual assault related things with Aideval, and that's unfortunate to have to even mention, because that was a lot of the talk online of like, wow, they can't hire a woman to do this or this. Look at what the rest of the league has also done. Like this is the way that the league has found success, and they've gone to Europe and mined coaching from over there in order to go ahead and do that. It doesn't matter at the end of the day whether who's coaching, whether it brings success or not, seems to hopefully be what's leading the decisions here, and which again leads to the question of, well, why was Stoney let go? And that's, go check out the podcast that she did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, go check out her Instagram stories. She's always posting about it, which I think is pretty cool.
Always.
She posted like a thing of like Pep's record, and it's like, well, great coaches get some grace. I was like, yeah, they should have. Yeah. Casey Stoney probably should have given more time, but
they should. Does this do anything for you? Does this move the needle for you? If this ends up being confirmed true here, we've here at San Diego Punto Football have had a couple of sources going back a couple of weeks confirming this. We've been mentioning that there was a short list. Eventually, this is where it seems to have landed. Does this do anything for you, Abe? Move the needle, excite you for what's coming up?
Have you talked about the Emma Hayes aspect of this?
A little bit.
Because
that's going to be a dynamic, right? Like the players who are going to be, who are getting praised a lot by Emma Hayes in Naomi Girma will have a coach that was shoved by Emma Hayes.
It's almost going. If you're Naomi Girma and Jana Shaw and constantly getting called up for the national team, it's gonna feel like you're sharing custody with your divorced parents. Like regular season, you're staying with Papa, and then on the weekends you're going with Mama, and they just kind of like talk bad about each other. Honestly, this is a professional standpoint. Like they're not gonna talk bad about each other. Well, I would hope they wouldn't. But that's kind of like the vibe that it's giving.
I kind of hope they do. Just for the bit,
for the press conference. Hey, Naomi, like, what has Emma Hayes told you about your coach? She's like, I can't talk about it.
That'd be amazing. And my first thought is about the young players of like Ascanio and Barcenas who hope to be part of that. That's a nice little show. That's funny. Just the smirk he gives after too is like, just like what?
Like did that really just happen?
Yeah. But yeah, these young players, if they want to be called up in the future, you have to kind of think about who your coach is. And I think little things like this eventually get forgotten.
Yeah.
But if you have, that's who they should be worried about the most. Someone that can handle like future national team players like Ascanio and Barcenas. And from what we haven't really heard how that youngster thing works with him, but we know with Donovan it worked pretty well.
Yeah, and again, like if it's a different league altogether, there's a different beast to NWSL, and there's a lot of European coaches that take some time to adapt in order to get success, but eventually they have found success here, and so there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of health concerns that went into San Diego Wave last year in terms of just fitness of different players, and there's going to be a lot of turnover and overhaul for the I don't want to say fodder players, but just a lot of players that just kind of they've run their course with San Diego Wave. I don't see them losing a lot of superstars moving into next season. But as Abe said, the year after that, it's gonna be interesting who survives. You think of the star power of Naomi Gurma, Jaden Shaw coming up. You still have somebody who is a wild card, and you don't know where her star is going to land with Barcenas, Cascaño, even somebody like Maria Sanchez Cascarino. Like, these individuals can put great performances together and garner the attention of other teams, and they can be taken away just like that. But Abe, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you making that effort. But anything for San Diego Wave in terms of just like overall, like looking at it from here?
I think something else that I thought about on the coaching front is I kind of just on an offhand, maybe they could have gone something more CONCACAF-y. Just, I feel like the American coaching style has proven to like not be good, but I don't know, something in Mexico could have worked as well. This just seems like it's interesting, but at the same time, it's like, well, this is a person that had to resign because they lost their locker room, reportedly. Like, if something like that happens, and I've been saying this, like, they should have made like a safe hire. I don't know how safe of a hire this is, but when you have someone that can lose a locker room, if that happens here with the Wave, like, it's gonna all like implode, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, and good insight here from our pal Esteban Toscano, who, again, credit where credit is due. My man is keeping up some of the youngsters here, training last off season with Jaden Shaw.
Esteban and Brandon are the soccer influencers here in San Diego.
100%. There's the guy. Check out Baller Crew. Mel B is taking the offseason serious. Was really impressed when I hopped in goal for her. She was also involved with the Total 90 Edgar Davies event a couple of weeks ago. Maria Sanchez was there.
Travis Scott.
Yeah. I mean, soccer-wise, bro.
Puro crack.
Mel B, Maria Sanchez, Travis Scott. If anything, that's what I'm interested in, those Total 90s. I'm not a Nike person. I've always preferred Adidas.
I've always loved the T90s.
The T90s.
Porque están anchitos, para el pie grosito. Oh, comfortable shoe. Oh.
I'm gonna. It looked like you ate it. You just. Excited for that.
We'll see what happens with San Diego Wave. I mean, again, we're hoping for a better season, and I mean, again, the bar was set pretty low with this last season, so making playoffs would be a win next year. So we'll see what happens with San Diego Wave, and I mean, I think that. Anything else, Tony, for San Diego Wave before we move on to Gold Scouts and Greats?
I don't think so right now.
I can talk USD.
That's exactly what we're actually going to go into with our next segment. You missed. I mean, I sent it in the chat. I'm really proud of that Sarape San Diego intro.
Yeah,
really liked it.
That was cool. The Sony one, yeah.
Yeah. The Sony one. No, that was
one.
I like the Sony one.
You like the Sony one? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Dumbest thing. What happens when you leave me at the border waiting, just with time in my hands and a little bit of internet. But in any case, we do have the segment that we're going to move into where we talk about the highlights, the lowlights of soccer around town and just around in this world, in this earth. So with that, the goals, gas, and greats.
Wow, great intro.
Great intro. Need to lower it because Abe lost 2 ears there. But it's A-OK. Goals, gaps, and greats. And we're going to go ahead and start with do you have that available? You have it loaded up? All right, we're going to start with the goal. Yeah, new graphics, Abe. How about that?
Very new graphics.
You had a lot of time at that border.
Yeah, 100%.
Goal of the week goes to Santi Jimenez, Mexican starlet Santiago Jimenez playing with Feyenoord. as
Something went wrong.
The link that Abe sent me. Not
Something
to put you on
went
the
wrong.
You
spot,
sent
Abe.
that link. You sent that link. What do you?
I think that's going to qualify as our.
That was good. I like that one.
One of you guys fucked up here.
Chiva sent that to the thing.
No está saliendo en Twitter ya, señor Stark.
Oh my god.
Oh
No sale el gol. No sale ni uno.
Can we talk about the gaff then? Well,
let's
talk about the gaff while Chiva finds the goal. How about that?
I think I just found it. Right?
Oh, perfect. Yep. Thank you, Tony.
Of course, Tony saving the day. All right, so let's read. See, we have all these new things and we just don't know what to do with them. So Santa Jimenez.
To tie it up in the 82nd minute, Santiago Jimenez does a bicycle kick goal. Más tijerita. If you want to restart it, Tony, just so people can see it. I mean, great cross. Santi Jimenez coming back from injury and doing things like this. There's a reaction of Chaco Jimenez watching the goal, and he's just like, which you didn't know Chaco Jimenez was his dad. Like you found out that
I found out live here.
But shout out to Santiago Jimenez back in form with this goal. Playback project. Wow, new graphics. Dios mío.
Thank you.
But golazo de Santi Jimenez. That makes it our goal of the week. Congrats, Santi Jimenez.
I can do that as well. Look at that.
You can do that?
Yeah, 100%.
You would have blocked that.
That is the goal of the week. All right, so moving on. We already burned the gaff graphic, but you know what? I worked hard on it, guys.
Two gaffs.
Gaff
this
of
week.
the week. Oh my. This is not the best position that you want to find yourself in. If you're any soccer fan or soccer person, the gaff of the week, Chiva.
The first one is just sorry, I'm gonna go with the first one. Cholos going into the quarterfinals of the Liga MX, winning the first leg 3-0 at home, and then going on the road against Cruz Azul to lose the game 3-0, and then not moving on based on the table differential. Like Cruz Azul came in and said, nope, we're coming back and we're going through to the semifinals. So one of the gaffes of the week is Cholos de Tijuana. If you're a fan of Cholos, serious apologies, because I mean that must suck to be up 3-0 and then your team loses 3-0.
And the worst part is, like, they could have gone up more than 3-0 during that first game in Tijuana. Like, everyone watching that game knew, like, they should add on here. Like, 3-0 doesn't even feel that safe because they went up a player in the first half. Like, a player got a red card. You need to add on another, at least one more goal in that second half. But Cruz Azul was able to keep them off, and then it just had disaster written all over this game before it even started. In my opinion.
Yeah, and I think the head coach Osorio to that said he didn't want to risk going down 3-1 because Cruz Azul can play the counterattack very well, which we saw in this game, but he didn't want to risk going up 4 and risking maybe giving one up and going 3-1. I think it came back and bit him in the ass because Cholo still gave up 3 goals in the second leg. So, yeah. Shout out to Cholos for being one of the San Diego Football's gaff of the week.
And the second gaff of the week, Abraham, you're going to go ahead and help us out through this one because you were there live. I was there actually against when USD played Davis, but the latest game was USD Toreros at home in the round of 16 for national title legend status if they moved on against Vermont. You were there. How was the atmosphere? How was everything over at USD?
It was a great atmosphere. It felt pretty full. They had the away section that's like the bleachers that was closed off, but everything else was like pretty full. It was pretty hard to find a seat, and the crowd was into it. It felt like a USD soccer game, just like that little chill in the air that felt like amazing. Like you need a jacket, but maybe you don't if you're cool. And it was just a really good game overall. I think USD was solid defensively, maybe a little bit too safe at times, but like those top end shots are crazy. Like what a save there. Jeez.
Yeah, no, the goalkeeper was very sound in this match for Vermont, and as you're saying, like it was a very strong showing for USD. It was an entertaining match, Abraham.
Yeah, it was good. It's 0-0, but it was still a good match. Like any of these like winner go home games are going to be good, but USD just wasn't able to find that final touch, and then they end up in overtime and just complete heartbreak.
All right, so let's kind of reset here, because in the college game, right, like there's a couple of different aspects that happen here. One of them being the clock goes backwards, right? So you start at 45 and it's a countdown, and there's no added time. So whenever the buzzer rings, that's it. 90 minutes go 0-0. A lot of people didn't know, even in the stadium. I actually heard our pal Craig Elston, who was also in attendance, tell us that, Callum, who we had last year, is on the PA giving the rules to what the overtime is. And it's just a golden goal situation. 2 golden goal halves of 10 minutes.
Call it sudden victory.
Sudden victory. Very, very, very PG, actually.
Not sudden death, sudden victory.
Sudden victory. It's kind of like a game changer language instead of substitute.
Yeah.
But essentially, gol gana, you score a goal and you're in. And honestly, like it was one of those things where USD just needed to go ahead and just tap the ball in. Just they had the momentum. Vermont was falling apart. There were cramps everywhere. There was injuries everywhere.
These cramps, it was getting to the point where it felt like it was on purpose to stop momentum from USD, which could be a good strategy, because like anytime they would like build momentum and have like a chance or two, like a Vermont player would go down with a cramp, and it worked really well because it would just like completely slow down momentum. USD would kind of like chill out for a second, and then the play would be moved slower. But yeah, those cramps were brutal at the end.
So that's why you see 90 minutes here. Now the countdown is a count up into the eventual 110 minutes. If it's still a tie, then they go into penalties. Another heartbreak for San Diego, because as you see, San Diego starts with the ball here, but eventually loses possession rather quickly. And you get a through ball and an eventual slide tackle inside the box. And that's going to be called for a penalty right there. There is definite contact. And this sudden victory situation turns into a sudden oh no situation. Penalty goes in, almost touched by the goalkeeper, who hesitated as much as he could. Ball went right down the middle, and you just see that foot on almost
gets it, man.
Gets it. Like he saw it the entire way. That's painful.
Pinche Mr. Worldwide.
And this is the goal. But the gaff for the day, and again, a fantastic year for USD, a fantastic year for these players. We know Jack Sandmeyer, we mentioned from the Inter days, his days there. So a lot of local talent. The USD soccer community really was represented well. The barras were out there, Barra 18, the locals were out there, but you just cannot go to ground here. You cannot go to ground here and even commit to it. And it was the captain. Like, you didn't touch the ball. Like, the right there, just go ahead and put yourself in front of it. Let him foul you. Then and again, like, I think son morros, they're kids, but like,
yeah, you just have to
they're adults.
You just have to put your body in there. Like, the ball, he wasn't gonna go anywhere with that play. And get in the heat of the moment as a center back, you're like, I can get there. But then that player managed to get that little tip first.
Yeah.
And then it's a foul. Like, you got there late, and you cost your team getting eliminated in the Sweet 16.
Hopefully it's a lesson in all of this, because that's what you want, right? Like, you go to school and they're representing the school for soccer, and this is a learning lesson.
There goes his draft opportunity.
But man, that is absolutely brutal way for USD.
Las porristas, and they're like, no, la cagaste.
Did they really?
No,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe
Maybe they do. But yeah, that moment is definitely.
Damn, Esteban. Hey, some of these guys will declare for the MLS Super Draft. Well, that guy might not get drafted.
He will. Again, a learning moment, and again,
I'm kidding.
What do you want? What do you want is a player who learns and develops, and is he being able to be coached? Coach Brian Quinn did a great job there, and so congratulations to everybody at USD. From what I hear is that next year will be even better with the squad and young squad that they have here. But overall
successful season.
Like 100%.
The gap was the play, not the season.
Yeah, no, 100%. Hopefully, again, learning situation here. And with that, it's going to take us into the great of the week. 4 graphics really counted just for this segment. The grade of the week.
It's a duo grade of the week. San Diego professional soccer players, both getting the call up to the Mexican women's national team, both getting on the score sheet. We're talking about Berkey and Scarlett, San Diego natives, just getting on the scoring sheet here for Mexico against my mistaken, was
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. There we go. I mean, Berkey has just been informed with Monterrey, just won the back-to-back championships with Monterrey. I mean, this is a player that I everything in me wants to see her play for San Diego Wave, and for her to be able to come back and live in San Diego, be with her family. I mean, I'm sure she loves it in Monterrey. I'm sure she's happy there, but we've asked her before if she'd be willing to play for San Diego Wave, and she if there was a team in San Diego, and she said she would consider it. I'm hoping that time is now. I think Wave desperately need a striker that's going to be a poacher, and I think Berkey would be the best choice that San Diego Wave could make. But yeah, I mean, and then Scarlett, I mean, she's just a top player as well. We've seen her play against San Diego Wave for both Bay FC and for America, and I mean, she's just deadly on those wings.
Yeah, and Maria Sanchez too played in this game, got a full 60 minutes. It's crazy to think the 3 players on the Mexican national team have ties to San Diego, which is really cool.
Yeah,
super cool,
100%. And again, this is part of the greater project that's happening. The resurgence of Mexico, la selección mexicana femenil, where there was a couple of years where it was rough, and I think this added confidence, especially through the Gold Cup, has had that new life be sparked, and this generation is really coming up big for Mexico. So Christina Birkenrode, local San Diegan native. You have Scarlett, another local native, and San Diego Wave's own Maria Sanchez, cavaliering this team forward. So
I saw Congratulations. Soccer was trying to come up with a name for the duo. I don't know if you guys can think of one. I was coming up blank, but Las Chingonas de Chula Vista, but Birkenrode's not from Chula Vista, so. I was trying.
We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it.
If you guys got anything in the chat, let us know.
No, they always say stay classy. The classy.
No, I hate it already.
No.
Yeah, but I'm gonna stop you right there, pal. Hold up. All right.
Do you like Anchorman, Chiva? Do you like that movie?
Never seen it.
That's where it comes from.
And that is going to be where we end. Yeah, please. Yeah, no, we'll workshop on that. 619 Soccer. We got
There's
you.
There's a soccer scene in Anchorman on the Coronado Bridge. You know what I'm talking about?
Where he throws the dog?
Where he kicks the dog.
Kicks a dog at the Coronado Bridge?
Well, okay, spoilers.
Throws the dog off the Coronado Bridge?
Look, man. If you haven't seen it by now,
you should watch the movie. It's an interesting movie.
So does that mean is this a teaser to the next Club Deportivo Movie Club?
Just that scene. Shout out to Club Deportivo Movie Club. If you are interested in watching and having a book club, but movie and soccer movie specific, it's hosted by Drew Steck and ESPN writer Cesar Hernandez. I've had a couple of really great articles on ESPN recently. Check it out. You can also check out our pals. We were talking about him earlier. Is Baller Crew as well. Here, Brandon.
Just had CJ Faudree for a
having the great and powerful CJ, former San Diego Loyal, currently with Austin FC, and we'll see if there's a chance. You know, who knows? Might stay here. He was actually also at the USD game. Everybody was at the USD game. Yeah, it's a great video. Check it out here. Still waiting. We'll run it back, guys.
Tony's in better shape now.
much better health. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be good. What I will say though is that there's a chance too where there's a chance for us to get involved in doing our own little thing for San Diego Punto Football and being involved locally. I'd like to have a foot tennis tournament.
That would be cool.
I want to have a San Diego Punto Football foot tennis tournament. Just
we need to go play.
1v1.
You keep telling me that you've been playing, and I want to go play.
I've been playing and absolutely destroying my friends. At this conditioning that I have is absolutely stellar. I was at the gym for 3 hours the other day.
He's a gym bro now.
No, I'm a gym machine right now.
You're
it's absolutely insane. Like what this, because I'm like, what can this body do? And I like get to that point where I'm like, I'm tired to probably stop. But I'm like, I'm still breathing just through my nose. Okay, let's keep going. Like, all right, this is cool.
I went to go run for the first time since the accident, and I went to go play since the first time since my car accident too.
Oh yeah,
I'm way out of shape.
Uh-huh.
But I ran a little over a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Did pretty good. Went to go play at Chula Vista Pickup on Saturday.
Oh, how was that?
It was fun. It was very cool.
Did you hand him the shirt?
I did.
Oh, that's why I took it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. I gave Henry a shirt that he purchased as well. And I mean, overall, the setup that he has is cool. I took my cousin. He was in town, so I was like, hey, dude, here, borrow some cleats. Let's go play.
Whew.
Yeah, no, CJ's just nasty.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, hey,
I like that.
Esteban's face is like, whew, what?
I just want to hear this now. Whew. Check out the full video.
Yeah, no,
Baller
Vato,
Crew.
they have a pro MLS player. Que nos quieren a nosotros?
I can take it on. It's fine. Check the boys out. Great stuff happening over there. But with that said, Abe, hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
You're good to go. But guess what? We're about to leave. You're okay with that? You can clock it out. Bring to end to San Diego Punto Football's participation tonight. I want to thank everybody who's joined us. Thank you for San Diego Women's Soccer for hopping on San Diego Internacional. Check them out 6 p.m. on Sunday. Open Cup action. San Diego being represented for a chance at the final 32 teams in the nation in the oldest soccer tournament in the world, the Lamar Hunt Open Cup tournament. Thank you to Abe. Thank you to Recover. Get your recover. You can find it at Sprouts. You can find it at different areas.
Found it at the market by my house, 3 for $5.
Absolutely. Down for the foot tennis tournament and film again with you guys. Yeah, I think a good foot tennis just film too would be nice.
We should invite Brandon and Esteban to go do foot golf.
Foot golf. Let's do all of that. Let's talk Esteban and Brandon. Let's get it done. Thank you for everybody who joined us here, and we'll hopefully cement the news for STFC that comes out next week.
Yeah,
because you might have a chance to hear this one.
Breaking news
for STFC next time. Thank you for everybody who joined us. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. You're very powerful, Paul Nathan Naku. Have a good night.
Let us, guys.
Bye.